Here are 15 arguments for the existence of God. The practical argument. Saints are happy, sinners are not. People who believe in God live longer, more fulfilled lives. If you don't believe me, ask your insurance provider. If a car drives better on gasoline rather than vegetable oil, it is reasonable to believe that a car was designed to run on gasoline and not vegetable oil. The ontological argument. We can deduce God's existence from the very definition of God. It is self-contradicting to deny that there exists a greatest possible being. God is the greatest possible being imaginable. If God exists only in the mind, then we can imagine something that is greater than God, since reality is greater than imagination. God can be imagined and he exists. Pascal's wager. If I am unsure of something, it is more reasonable for me to bet on infinite happiness over infinite nothingness. Whatever exists has a cause. The universe began to exist 13.8 billion years ago. Therefore, the universe has a cause. This cause must be greater than the result, and God must be greater than space, time, and matter. For there to be a Big Bang, there must be a Big Banger. The principle of sufficient reason states that everything must have an explanation. Why is there something and not nothing? It is reasonable and scientific to believe that something did not come from nothing. 99% of recorded human history has believed in the supernatural. While this doesn't prove something to be true, it would be arrogant to say that nearly every rational being has fallen for the greatest lie ever invented and lived a fairy tale or illusion. Even if sheer numbers aren't persuasive, it is appealing to be on the side of all the saints, sages, princes, and prophets that have gone before us. Miracles are very strong evidence for God because miracles happen. There have been thousands of recorded public miracles that can only be understood through supernatural intervention. Fortunately, we don't have to go very far to observe them for ourselves. Just ask our theist neighbor if they've had any miracles in their lives. And if that doesn't do it for you, research the miracles of Fatima and the 60,000 eyewitnesses. Go to Italy and witness the blood of St. Irenaeus and see it liquefy annually. View the incorruptible bodies of many of the saints that died hundreds of years ago. There's a reason why most of the agnostic scientists who studied the Shroud of Turin and the Stigmata of Padre Pio became Christians. There's a hierarchy of value and worth. A baby human is more valuable than a rock or an oyster. For there to be a hierarchy of value, there must be an objective standard for value and a creator of value. Edwin Conklin said the probability of life originating from accident is comparable to the probability of an unabridged dictionary resulting from an explosion in a printing factory. There are over 200 criteria that must be met perfectly for a planet to support life, and yet here we are, not only living, but talking about it. Could every one of the parameters have been met perfectly by accident? The fine-tuning to support life on a planet is nothing compared to the fine-tuning required for a universe to exist at all. When you consider gravity, inertia, electromagnetic and nuclear forces, and all the wonders of the cosmos, you cannot help but be in awe. The odds are so inconceivable that the idea that this just happened defies common sense. If I found a pocket watch in a field, it would be reasonable for me to deduct that something intelligent designed that watch. When I consider the universe, or the eyeball, the nervous system, the rose, the seed, the atom, protons, neutrons, DNA, the stars, and the amazing wonders all around me, it is reasonable for me to deduct that something intelligent designed all this. I know there's an artist because I've seen the artwork. I know there's an author because I've read his book. Intellect exists, so there must be an intellect creator. Reason and logic are real, even if we can't see, touch, and measure them. They must come from somewhere. There must be a thinker behind the unchangeable thought. If there were no truth, there would be no point debating, and yet we all seek truth. Objective morality exists, so there must be an objective moral standard independent of our own personal experience. Even if we can't agree on what is right and what is wrong, we can all agree that right and wrong do exist. We can all agree that rape, child abuse, racism, terrorism is wrong. To know how good something is, we have to compare it to a standard or perfect goodness itself. All of our natural desires point to something real. We get hungry and there's food, thirsty, drink. We desire intimacy and there's friendship. We all have a natural desire for God, and it would be logical to think that, like all of our other natural desires, this can be satisfied. Meaning and purpose exists, which we receive from our Creator. A shovel was meant to dig, a watch to tell time, a hammer was created to hammer, and humans were created to love. We all accept that we have meaning, And like everything else created, we are most effective and fulfilled when satisfying that purpose. Love is real and did not create itself. Love is the meaning of life, and when we live in love, though we may suffer, we feel most fully alive. God is infinite goodness, truth, and love. God is being itself. There are many smart atheists out there, but faith in atheism is not reasonable and it's not wise because it removes the heart and the soul of our human experience. Intellectual arguments are important, but it is love that converts and love that conquers. Share these valid, reasonable arguments, but most importantly, love your atheist friends and pray for them. God bless you.